Welcome back. You're watching Power Breakfast on CNBC-TV18. Yesterday on the Wall Street, crude concerns dragged markets lower. The Sensex fell over 350 points from the highs, and the Nifty too breached the 11,600 mark briefly. Share about 0.5%. Reliance Financials contribute most to Nifty's fall. Tata Motors too sank about 7% from the highs on weak JLR sales. Broader markets end with cuts of over 0.8%. And the mid-cap index slips about 1.5% from the highs. The Nifty Bank lower too. With all of that happening yesterday, what are the cues that we're working with today? Because crude has only increased. Anisha joins us to tell us. Anisha.
Well, yes, Manglam, as you said, it was the crude concern that really led to that decline in the market yesterday. We just managed to hold on to the 11,600 mark by the skin of the teeth when it comes to the Nifty. And even the volatility was really high. So if you look at the India VIX, that rose by around 10% yesterday and is near the 20 level. Remember, usually it remains between that 15 to 17 mark. So 20 is a bit on the higher side. It was the IT space that really supported the market yesterday. But on the flip side, the oil marketing companies were coming under pressure. If you look at the FII figure from the cash equity markets yesterday, they continued to buy and pump in money. So the FIIs added around 330 crores into the cash equity markets, while the selling from DIIs really continue. They continued to book profits because the DIIs sold around 620 crores in the cash equity markets yesterday. Well, if you look at the cues for today, well, they continue to be a bit somber because as you remember, the biggest cue for yesterday's trade was crude. That was inching higher and that rally really continues today. So crude continues to boil. It's hovering around the level of around $71.2 per barrel. It's trading at 2019 highs. There are some concerns regarding supply cuts happening from Libya, and that is the reason crude continues to move higher. Other than that, if you look at the rest of the equity world as well, the cues are not really very enthusing. For example, in the US markets, we have been telling you how the Dow ended around 80 points lower, though there were slim gains in the likes of Nasdaq and S&P 500. The downfall or the decline in the Dow was really caused by two stocks, Boeing as well as GE, and both because of some negative brokerage action. So, for example, for Boeing, Bank of America Merrill Lynch has actually downgraded the stock, talking about how the production of 737s might be delayed, and that's the reason that stock came under pressure, down about 4%. And also remember, it's the start of earnings week for US markets as well, and the expectation is that it is going to be a tough quarter. So all that really adding to the nervousness. Asia this morning is also trading rather weak. All the indices, the last time I checked, were trading in the red. The early rates from Shanghai as well as Hang Seng suggesting a downtick of around 0.25%. So the weakness really persisting across Asia. We saw the European markets as well that were closed a bit mixed. So overall, Manglam, it looks like to start off the trade, the cues are a tad bit mixed. Yes, the SGX Nifty suggesting a mild start off with an uptick of around 5 points, but the key resistance remain around that 11,650 to 700 mark.
All right, Anisha, thanks a lot for that. And individual stocks that you're watching out for?
Well, I'll watch out for Yes Bank because they're looking to consider raising some funds via debt as well as equity on April 26th. The street is talking about some QIP that might come in for this bank, so we'll keep an eye out on that. Asian Paints is in focus. Not only that CLSA has downgraded the stock, but the company also informed exchanges that a fire broke out at its manufacturing facility in Visakhapatnam, though it has been contained. So keep an eye out on Asian Paints in trade today. Delta Corp is in focus on account of earnings, and it was a rather decent quarter because not only the revenue is up 19%, the margins expanded as well as the profit is up 25% on a year-on-year basis. Sun Pharma is in focus because it looks like the company is walking the talk because they have now incorporated a wholly owned subsidiary in place of Aditya Medisales, and this means that yes, there will be a shortfall when it comes to the sales of Aditya Medisales, but overall the company is trying to move towards the corporate governance issues that the investors were worried about. Panisha Bio is in focus because the company has got investment from Piramal and Bain worth around 990 crores. Fortis is in focus because the CFO has stepped down with immediate effect. So that is something to watch out for. Voltas is in focus. Well, it's a small deal actually for the company because it's in the textile machinery division, which is very small for the company as it is. But they have signed a pact with Shima Siki to sell their products. Other than that, Bharti Airtel is in focus because government sources tell that SEBI has approved their fundraising plan. And lastly, DLF was down 7% yesterday. We understand that the Singapore GIC has sold 7 crore shares in the market.
All right, Anisha, thanks a lot for that. With that, we take a short break, come back and we talk about Jet Airways. Lenders look to sell 75% stake in the debt-ridden airline Jet Airways. Stay tuned. More details up next.